right, joining us now is Alamogordo Tiger Boys Basketball as they get ready for the start of their season. Tuesday, they'll be at home against Silver, opening up the season. I was going to say Deming, but I knew I was wrong. They're on Friday of next week that they'll be coming into town. And nodding their heads to my left are head coach Jeremy Nee and assistant coach James Bowman. How are you guys doing today? Good?
Doing good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Good, Charles. Thanks for having us again, man. Appreciate you.
All right, you brought 4 with you, a junior and 3 seniors. Coach, you want to introduce the group that you brought with you?
Yeah, I brought 2-time, hopefully 3-time, and possibly a state player this year, Kai Bickham. Kai is a senior leader with us this year. He's our team captain. This season, brought him back. I've got Christian Hicks, who's a major role player for us last year on the JV, stepping into varsity this year as a senior. Going to be an instrumental for us, not only in the locker room and in practices, but also his minutes on the floor. Christian Hicks. I've got Elijah Montoya, second year, third year, I don't know. He's been on varsity a couple years. He'll be a senior this year. Plays a little inside, a little outside for us. Most people are familiar with him as our starting quarterback on the football team. And then I got junior. I brought our junior, Marcus Jordan Bryant Jr. We call him 4 names. We brought him tonight. He was one of 2 or 3 of our major leaders on JV last year. Also got varsity minutes. Will probably be in a major role this year for us, being a junior, helping out with the backcourt, ball handling, press break, things of that nature. So those are the 4. And, of course, right-hand man, Coach James Bowman.
Okay. All right. How you guys doing today? Good?
Yes, sir.
Good. Coach, first week of practice pretty much in the books. I imagine you guys already did your practice on Friday. How's the first week on for you guys?
Oh, well, actually, we're going to practice after this. We got team photos here shortly, and then we've got practice tonight. So we had tryouts Monday and Tuesday. Had 66 tryout. This season we've kept 40 in total in the program. Great tryouts on Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday was our first official practice. After that, had a great practice, a long practice, a little 2.5-hour practice for varsity. Went well. We know we got to get our legs under us, and other than that, guys were dialed in. A lot of what we do is systems, so it wasn't like they were learning new things on what to do and where to go. It was just kind of more of a refresher and then a few tweaks here and there from what we modify season to season. Yesterday, we did give them the day off for Thanksgiving. I didn't want to interfere with the family arrangements because we already take enough from them during Christmas holiday for all of our games and tournaments. So today will be official practice 2. We'll get another win tomorrow morning, and then Tiger Madness on Saturday evening.
Okay, very good. Certainly look forward to that. Coach, I mean, one of the challenging things, obviously, right after practice begins, you guys get into the season starting next week, but I know a lot of these guys, do 6th-hour, 7th-hour basketball with you guys, so you've at least had them for most of the school year. Is that pretty fair to say?
Yes, sir. I mean, we do for the boys program, we have first period basketball, so the kids got to wake up and get to school, early on time, But, yeah, we've had them all preseason, the guys that weren't in football and things like that, and they've been working hard, hitting the weights, getting on the track, doing all the things that they got to do. Had a few guys that actually took their conditioning a step further, and they were doing some post-workouts with Coach Nee on the track just to get their endurance up and things like that. And, we got a great group of guys that just like to work hard. And then, the guys that were playing in football and stuff, we know that they go out there and they do their thing all year and, 2 days going in the summer and all that stuff. So we're not too worried about their conditioning and their strength either. Hopefully they come over here and help bang our basketball guys around a little bit so they can get them a little tough and everything ready for the season and everything. But no, everybody's been locked and loaded. I think this is probably one of our most dialed in preseasons we've had in a while. I think everybody's just ready to go, so we're excited.
All right, and JV freshman, you talked about you had to obviously cut 26, it sounds like. You guys feeling good about the sub-varsity as well?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We feel like we have a real strong program, C team through varsity, and including our JV. We have of course, tryouts weeks is always the toughest weeks for all coaches. I think anybody would be lying if they say they enjoy tryout week because you don't like telling kids no, especially when they come out there and they give you all they got for two days and everything like that. And but I think our 3 teams that we have this year, we have a solid program from top to bottom, and we're really looking forward to just letting these guys get out there and go show what they can do. So should be a fun season for us all.
Coach, I know it's not just C team and JV, but you guys are watching what the middle schools are doing as well and keeping an eye on that. So it's a whole big program from 7th grade pretty much all the way on up.
Absolutely, right? And one of the big things is we try to get involved with the middle schools, the coaches specifically on off-season development, professional development, preseason prep, things of that nature. And we just met with them about a month, maybe 3-4 weeks ago. Met with them, getting them prepared for their season, talking about what's the big picture. And our big picture is we have an acronym called CAGE. We want to work on character. That's number 1. Number 2, academics. We want our kids to be gritty And then we also want them to be enthusiastic. We want them to be energetic. We want them to outwork. So that starts from the 7th grade all the way to the high school. And, being here, this is our 3rd year. We saw some growing pains like you always do in the first year or two. You see some development, which is great. And right now what we see is the fruit of that labor and a lot behind the scenes in the off season and summer, like you said, in spring and in fall and first period basketball when we're working those conditioning and weight training and all that. We're seeing the fruit of that labor exponentially now. We just maxed out just a week or two ago and bench and squat for a number of our basketball players, and you would have thought they came over from football. It was really impressive to see the reps and the numbers and what they were doing. But that goes back to our kids putting in the work. Young guys, our C team, our JV are going to be successful this year as well as our varsity. So it's nice to be able to go into the gym this year. If you want to come to all 3 games, you're going to get 3 great games. It's not going to be just, I'm waiting for varsity. C team, they're rolling. JV's rolling. So that's how it's going to be this year for Tiger basketball for sure.
Very good. Marcus, how's the transition coming out of football? Sometimes that's difficult. Your body kind of needs to recuperate a little bit. How's it been for you as you've made the transition from football into basketball?
I've had a couple, pains here and there from football, but I think I've been recovering well, trying to get my basketball conditioning back. But other than that, the transition's been pretty good.
What do you find is the biggest difference in terms of conditioning? Is it more of just the sprints? Or that's what I hear from everybody talking about, is the running's maybe a little bit more difficult? I don't know. What would you say is the most difficult thing moving from football to basketball?
I think when I went to open gyms and stuff, it's like sprints, and I get more tired for some reason.
Yeah.
But other than that, I've been pretty good.
Okay, very good. Where do you feel like maybe you've improved on your game from last year to this year? Where you feel more comfortable at from last season?
I would say ball handling and decision making. I feel like I've been doing better at that. I've gotten also more athletic, so I think it's going to be a good year.
Yeah, you got some goals that are setting for yourself, or is it more team focused that you're looking at?
I would say team focus. Yeah, because we all got the same goals, trying to get to the pit and win a district championship.
Okay, very good. Elijah, same thing. You're coming out of football. How's the getting back from some of the bumps and bruises? Not that basketball doesn't give you those same bumps and bruises, but it's a little bit different. How you feeling coming into basketball?
I feel a lot better than I did last year for sure.
Okay,
I can actually move. My nickname last year was Grandpa.
Okay,
that's how much I was hurting after football last year. But this year I feel fine, and I feel like I can move a lot quicker, and I'll be more explosive this year.
Does that make the transition so much easier that you're kind of excited for basketball now going into it this year?
Yeah, definitely not in pain every day.
Yeah, I would imagine that makes a lot more fun for you out there. How about in your game this year? Where do you feel like you've shown improvement from last year to this year?
Well, I think because of me not being so injured and hurt every day, then I'm going to be able to be more physical. And I'm a smaller big, but I feel like I'm one of the more physical guys on the team, and that's kind of my job.
Yeah, I was going to say, last year with the rebounding you were doing inside, you certainly were making your presence known in there for sure, it seemed like. And, goals are the same thing? Are you just mainly focused on the team goals, or are there some things that you're looking at in your game?
That's all I'm worried about, is just going to that state championship.
Okay, we'll certainly look forward to that. Christian, I think it's the first time I've had a chance to chat with you. So, did you do any sports in the fall, or did you just focus on basketball during the fall time?
Just basketball, yes, sir.
Okay. Where do you feel like maybe your game is showing improvement heading into this year?
Definitely, it's more of a leadership role and my defense. I like to be very vocal on defense, and I feel that's where I can adapt more and be in more places, as well as being a leader.
Okay. What is it that you're kind of focusing on in terms of being a leader? Is it just the vocal part of it, or is there some other things that you've really tried to improve on from last season?
Getting my teammates involved, really just trusting myself and trusting my teammates as well.
Okay, very good. And same thing, I'm probably going to get the same answer every time, but it's the team goals that you're focusing on, or are there some maybe a little personal goal that you're trying to hit this year?
It's definitely the team goals. It's we over me all day.
Okay, very good. All right, we'll bring in Kai Bickham now. And Kai, I know you've been mainly focused on basketball in the offseason, getting ready for the new year. Where do you feel like your game is heading into this season?
I feel like our ceiling is state championship. Last year we were always focused on getting there, but we weren't focused about the games in front of us. I feel like this year, if we take the games in front of us seriously, we can go how far as we want to.
Yeah. How about you personally? I mean, where do you feel like your game's improved from last year to this year, maybe?
Obviously, my IQ is always growing no matter what. I feel like last year I had a lot of shooting slumps, but this year, it's my last year. Got to go out strong.
What do you feel like you learned from that time where you felt like you had some shooting slumps in terms of being able to shake that off and not have it be something that affects you?
Stop shooting and get to the basket, because I was kind of scared of contact a little bit last year, but this year I want all of it.
Okay, so aggressive, more of attacking the rim than anything else this year. All right, very good. Well, we got these 4 guys here. Obviously, you're filling out an entire varsity roster. Easy for me to say. Tell me about some of the other guys, because I know there's a lot in this team. Just like last year, you guys are very deep.
Yeah, we're 3 of our all-district players, Deontay Bynum, Jason Warren, and Demyron Smith. They're back. Demyron's a junior. The other 2 are seniors. We're excited for them in their senior year. Also, that talent level coming back. We also have 2 players that played with us a couple years ago that are back in our program as seniors. Avion Valdez, you'll know his name from football. He came back to basketball this year and is going to help be a contributor to us in the backcourt. And then Trey Sanders, he's back as a senior. We're excited for him. He adds some depth and some size. And I gave him some kudos in practice the other day. His defense has improved dramatically, not just from inside, but also on the outside, guarding the perimeter. Gave him some major kudos on that. So it's glad to have him back. We love him to death, love them all. And then I talked about the guys that are coming up from JV that were major role players last year. We had Nico Stubblefield. His brother Sean played for us last year. Nico's going to be a major contributor for us this year on varsity. Isaiah Richards, he was a swing player last year as well. He's the young guy. He's the sophomore, but he's learning so quick, and he's got great mentors. Kind of comes under Kai's wing as that guy that he looks up to and that kind of mentors him and helping him in his game. It's good for him, and as a sophomore, he deserves to be on varsity this year. We also have Damian Padilla. He was on JV last year as a junior. This year, he spent, I want to say 4 times a week. He was at the gym down in the city, 6 a.m. working on his fitness, working on his strength. He's a complete different player than he was last year, mentally and physically, and he can straight up shoot the ball. We have a nickname for him called the Assassin. I'd be shocked if that kid shoots under 40-45% this year from a spot up, like just catch and shoot. He might even be closer to 50%. Anytime he's wide open, it's hard for him to miss. I'm not giving him pressure on that, so if he's listening to this, no pressure. He's just going to come out and do his thing, but he can shoot the rock. So that's kind of the big group of that's the 12 guys on varsity this year with the 4 here. Again, we got 9 seniors out of 12, 2 juniors and a sophomore. So we're senior heavy. We're leadership heavy. We're team focused heavy. We're athletic heavy. We're strong heavy. If there was a season to lock arms and say let's get to the district championship and let's get to the pit, this is the season.
All right, Coach. What are you feeling when you watch this team practice and have gotten ready for the season? What do you feel like the biggest strengths of this group are so far? I know Coach obviously mentioned leadership, but also from a basketball standpoint, where do you guys think you can really excel this season?
Cohesiveness. These guys have been together for a long time, and I think over the years they've just developed that, that brotherhood. And, that's anybody that's ever played sports, you already know that if you have a team that's willing to go sacrifice for their brother to the left, brother to the right, a lot of times those teams can be successful. And, yes, of course, everybody, all throughout the state right now, everybody's goal is, we want to win a state championship. And, we're really focused on trying to improve. We want to win on and off the court, and we're just pushing our kids to continue to strive for those things. We always tell our kids, everybody knows that one day the ball's gonna stop bouncing for you. So we try to prepare them for things not only on the basketball court but for after that and everything too. Christian Hicks. He didn't say it himself, but he's one of the best chefs in the state of New Mexico at his age, and he's going to be trying to go on to culinary school and stuff like that, which is going to be awesome, a blessing. And with Elijah with his skills with the clippers and his hair cutting and all that stuff, it's just we have a bunch of guys that have extra talents and things like that. So we say, hey, we want to go win state. Of course, who doesn't? If you're not going to go after a state championship, you're not a competitor. But with our guys, we tell them, hey, let's love this, let's have fun with it, but also make sure you take time to do the other things that you love doing too and everything. And I think these guys all understand that with one another. And I think Elijah cut most of the kids on our program today just so we can get the pictures looking right tonight. So so again, to me, that's that brotherhood. I'm not gonna lie, I trust one person with my haircut, so if they trust him enough to do it, I'm like, hey, if you can do that, and we can trust each other on the court too, so but no, I think we have a great group of guys, like I said, from top to the bottom, from varsity to C team. It's just a great group of guys, and we have a bunch of guys that lead in the right ways, and that togetherness, that brotherhood this year, I think is going to be what's going to propel us to be very successful on and off the court.
All right, very good. It's interesting. Coach was talking a little bit about you kind of mentoring Isaiah a little bit. What's been that like for you? I mean, you were just a couple years ago. You were the sophomore. You were the freshman. Maybe getting that mentorship. Did you learn from that? And how do you help out some of the younger guys?
All you gotta do is keep working, because sometimes I don't feel like working, but then I have to do it. Like, I was working with Coach Nee on the track. Some days he was like, "Kai, after school," I'll be like, "Yep." And I'll go out there and work. You just gotta keep working.
And that's the biggest thing you want to see from somebody is that they've got the enthusiasm to be a part of the game, be a part of the team.
Yes, right.
Well, you are a senior this year. I mean, I know basketball is something you want to continue after high school, I would assume, right?
Yes, sir.
Have you started getting any feelers, any idea where you're headed? Or
my mom obviously works at FAMU, Florida A&M in Florida, but there's also a community college there. I went and talked to their coach. We'll see where that goes. But, if there's any other schools, head's still open.
Yeah. Do you know what you want to do in college? What you want to focus on studies-wise, or not sure yet?
I don't know yet.
No. Okay, that's allowed. But you'll find something when you get there. That's what matters. And we're going to see you do some sports in the spring, or are you going to focus on basketball?
I'll probably do track just because my mom wants me to.
Okay. Well, I mean, it wouldn't be the end of the year if you didn't have Coach Atkinson getting on you out there, right? Very good. Christian, I mean, you coming into the senior role this year and, working up to the varsity level, how do you look at your leadership role? You talked about it, in terms of, helping out in defense, things like that. But how about some of the younger guys and helping them out when they need it, especially if it's JV or C team and they have questions for you?
It's a lot of pressure. Not only am I a role model throughout the program, I'm also a role model throughout the school. So I need to make sure that I'm right within myself before I lead someone. So that's one of the biggest things that I work on, is making sure that I'm leading myself down the right path so that I can help others.
All right, well, tell me a little bit how you got into becoming a chef, how you got into culinary arts. I mean, what got you started in that, man?
It's honestly my parents. My dad, he grew up cooking in a restaurant. My grandma, she used to have a restaurant. And my mom, she was always a great cook. And now I like to say, Ma, if you listen to this, don't take anything to heart, but I am a better cook than her.
Oh no!
But
I don't want to get you in trouble, man. I'm guessing you've already told her this before.
I have.
Okay. I didn't want this to be like breaking news on the radio, right? What's your best dish? What's the go-to if you want to show somebody how great of a cook you are? Is there one that you go to?
There's one that Coach Nee likes very, very much. It is a pork braccio with a fondant potatoes and honey glazed carrots.
It's amazing.
That sounds good. That sounds superb. So what's the future for you? You heading off to cooking school, or are you heading off to work at a restaurant? What are you planning to do after high school?
So right now I work at Les Combs Winery and Bistro in town, and after high school I want to go and attend Culinary Institute of America in Napa Valley, California.
Awesome. That's exciting. It's very cool. Well, we're going to watch for your name in like big lights somewhere at some point. Like, you're the next Gordon Ramsay or something out there, right?
Yes, sir.
I don't see you screaming at people like he does, though. I just don't think that's going to happen. Elijah, I mean, you've just come from the football team where I know Coach Cisco looked to you to be one of the leaders out there. Now moving over to basketball, the same thing. How do you take that role, and how much have you enjoyed being that leader for your team over this season so far?
Yeah, well, it's just with football, that's my main thing, was being a leader. That's like the main thing I focused on, and then bringing what I've learned from leading a football team of 70 guys or however much guys we had into a basketball team, which I can bring more focus to specific guys and just making sure everybody grows to be what their full potential is, and even when I leave.
All right. Well, I know we've talked about this in football as well, but I mean, and we've been talking about this, and Coach was talking about a little before, is, you really focusing on becoming, I shouldn't say becoming a barber. You are already at this point. So, I mean, I don't know if I asked you that before. What got you started doing it?
Long story short, my barber was convinced me, because I always wanted to play college football. He was asking me how I'm going to make money in college, and I didn't know. And he just told me he'll teach me how to cut hair. Eventually, he convinced me. And then as soon as I started, he got deployed. So I had to learn all on my own. And I loved it a lot the more I did it. And I've been cutting for 2 years already. Almost next month will be 2 years. And like I said, I cut almost every dude on the team. I've done 4 haircuts of dudes on the team just today.
What does that mean to you that they trust you with that? I mean, because these guys all want to look good. I mean, there's no doubt about that. What does that mean to you to know that they trust you to do that?
I mean, like Coach Bowman said, like we have a real bond. It's not just basketball. So I mean, the fact that they trust me to touch their hair, and then it brings us even closer together. Especially because I don't even live in town. I live out a little bit. They're driving a ways from me. Yeah,
there you go. Well, and on top of that, I mean, it's picture day today, so they definitely want it to look really good. So that's the most important deal there. Marcus, I mean, what's the plan? Are you hoping to continue doing some type of sport after you finish up with high school, or?
Yeah, I'll see like when my senior year gets to see what sport I want to play. But I do want to go to college for sports.
Okay, and you do something in the spring as well, right?
Yes, sir. I do track.
Track. Okay, that's what I thought. But there's so many spring sports these days. I seem to lose track of all them at this point. College. Have you thought about what you want to do in college or what you want to focus on?
I'm not sure. I just know I want to become a coach after it's all said and done.
All right. Very good. And Elijah, you play baseball, right? No?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you do anything in the spring?
No, sir.
No, sir? Okay. Why did I think you played baseball? I'm just forgetting all kinds of things there. Christian, I didn't ask you. Have you doing any spring sports?
Yes, sir. I do track.
Do track and field? Okay. Very good. Well, we're certainly looking forward to seeing all you guys doing some track and field there. Y'all have a tough schedule this year. I was looking especially at the El Paso schools that you're going to go down and play Chapin this year, and they've got one of the best athletes in the city on that team, who's like 7-footer, and you guys know that you've got a really, really challenging schedule in front of you this season.
Yes, and that was on purpose. I have a lot of people always ask me, well, why don't you go play the Albuquerque schools? And first response is I want to see them in March. But my second response is if I can get somewhere closer and have equal or better talent to play against, where my families can come and support us and our local community can. That's why if you notice our schedule, we've got an El Paso tournament, we've got the Eastwood and the Chapin game down there. I want to get our fans to as many of our road games as we can, and because New Mexico, we have some distance to drive to, Carlsbad and those types of things. I don't want to go all the way to Albuquerque if I don't have to until March. I'd love to be there in March. I want to be in Albuquerque every March, but I don't want to be up there in January. I'd rather play El Paso or somewhere else that has some talent. So Coach Veller, the girls coach, actually helped facilitate the Chapin game for us, which was great. We've been trying to play Chapin for a couple of years. We know how good that program is, how talented they are, and it would be a good eye-opener for us going into district just a week or two after that to play a team of that caliber. And I go into every game. Bowman goes into every game. Our kids go into every game. We don't go into games to lose. We go into games to compete, to win. And it would be great to go down there and see what happens. And then a week later, we got Chapin. Eastwood down there as well. Great facility. Has been known to have a great program as well. So that's the big thing. And then our out of district tournament that we go to besides El Paso is Artesia. Coach Mike over there does a great job with the tournament. We love the schedule of it. Boys and girls, and it's real fluid. And there's always good competition. I mean, we're in the harder side of the bracket, I think, this year. We got Las Lunas to start, and then we play winner or loser of Rio Rancho Carlsbad. So that's a tough side of the bracket, which we're excited for. We're really glad we get to play Las Lunas at 7 o'clock on that Thursday there. Roswell's here this year, but it's never an easy contest. Last year, they got one on us in overtime up there. We had a lead in the fourth, and we ended up, that game got away from us. But if you look at the majority of our schedule is set the way it is on purpose, and it's all a building block for the next phase of our season. And our biggest phase is district. District is our season. When we start district, our record's 0-0, and our goal this year is to get to that district regular season championship if we can, and then get in the tournament, hopefully get to that game and win it. That's our goal. Our goal this year is district champ. And then, Lord willing, we do our job throughout the entire season. The state will recognize that when we get to the pit.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you win that district championship, you guys know you're in the state tournament. So that's the nice thing about that, is having that locked away. That definitely makes a big difference. And Coach, I mean, going up against top tier talent, I mean, you figure playing Los Lunas, you're going to see Jalen Holland, you're going to see the kid down at Chapin, you're going to see, I mean, those kind of things. Certainly you'd rather see that non-district and work up to it. But that you guys are confident with the group that you have. I got to think these guys are excited for the opportunity to play those players.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, when the schedule came out and we were talking with some of our guys and everything like that, and I think they all like that. We'd rather play against that top tier talent just because it's competition. Again, like I said, if anybody that's in any type of sports, you want to play the best, you want to beat the best, and I think with the big game with Chapin and everything like that, I think that's going to just be it's going to be a good opportunity for these guys to see, especially kids that are going to be pursuing going to that next level. Like when you get to that next level, you see guys that 7 foot that can do it all, and it's kind of a common thing versus like when you see it in high school basketball, a lot of times you don't see that too often, but the thing about it is these guys, they played against Isaiah Carr, who's close to 7 foot. That kid could play, they got 2 years of experience with that, so I think the size, I don't think scares our kids. I think they're just like, hey, that's the next opponent on the schedule. Let's just go after it, And then again, like with Los Lunas and Jalen up there, like he's obviously a great player. I know I was reading somewhere the other day on Instagram or
like 14 offers.
Yeah, I think he's got so many offers. I think they have him rated as the number one player in the state right now and everything like that. But again, I think our kids just say it as like, hey, all right, he's the next one on the list. Let's go after him, And I think our guys are ready for it. Even last year when we played against them, we were holding our own with them for a while, and then they just kind of got away from us in the second half. But I
got a stupid technical foul.
And coach did get a bad technical foul, but it's all right. But I think again, it's that opportunity. And a lot of our kids, they play a lot of basketball. So I don't think those big names, those big games, they don't really scare them. They're like, honestly, I think they'd rather play those kind of games than some of the games that look like they should easily win this type of game. And like coach says, we don't ever look at anybody on our schedule and say, oh, that's an easy win. We're ready to go every single time, and we're just gonna prepare and put our best foot forward every time we go out up against one of these bigger schools. So.
All right, very good. Marcus, what do you like about this group of guys this year? I mean, every team's a little bit different. What stands out to you about this team this year?
I think this team is more bought in. I think, like everybody keeps saying, we're together more. Like we have it on our jacket, like hashtag together. I don't think last year we didn't like really mean it, but I think this year we really understand it.
All right, very good. Elijah, how about you? What do you like about this group? You just came from a big group of guys in the football team that certainly felt like they bought into what you guys are doing this year. What are you seeing from this group this year?
Yeah, we got the same vibe going. We're all we all been playing together since middle school. We've all been competing against each other, playing with each other, and then we have our starters been starting since sophomore year. So I think we are going to be one of the toughest teams in the state this year.
All right, Christian, what do you like about this group of guys? I mean, whether it's just how you're going to compete this year, personalities wise, what do you like about this group?
I feel like this whole group was kind of like a bomb, counting down until we're all ready and we're gonna blow up. It's gonna go great. These guys, they're hungry. Everybody's hungry. We don't like losing. That's a nasty taste that we do not like in our mouth. Especially with single digit games that we know we could win. We're coming back this year, and we're coming back better than ever.
Yeah, Kai, I mean, I know I mentioned earlier, it's kind of almost hard to believe that you're a senior and this whole group of guys are seniors. How important is it for you guys to finish off this year? I mean, what is it special about this group of guys that you want to finish strong?
This group of guys, brothers. Since I moved here in 8th grade, I was always with them. But this group of guys, we're like Chris said, we're hungry. Everyone said we got that bond, and we all got swag. We all got swag, but we know how to control it. Because coach don't get mad if we get a technical foul, Tiger Trails. Okay, now.
Yeah.
But
I saw you guys out there in the volleyball games. There was definitely a lot of that going on with you cheering on the teams. All right. Well, we're looking forward to a great season. Again, the season begins at home on Tuesday. Want to remind everybody, just as with all Tiger Sports event, everything's free this year. So come on out to the Tiger Pit. It doesn't cost you anything, and you can support the team this year. But Tuesday against Silver, and then home again on Friday as you guys take on Deming as well. Hey, guys, good luck this season. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us, Charles.
Thanks.
Greatly appreciate it.